Yesterday we talked about how to improve your memory naturally, things you can do in the morning. We said boosting brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or brain fertilizer, aka brain cell production, is a good thing. And you can do that with things like fasting and aerobic exercise. Today, I need to share with you another thing that can not only boost BDNF, but can improve your health to a significant degree, and how you feel every day, how you feel and how you perform. And something that I have to share with you, because I was sitting here drinking my morning cup of Super U this morning, and I was thinking, what am I going to study for When Wellness today, right? So I sat down and learned something new. That's a thing you do to improve memory every morning, as we said yesterday. And I said, as I was reading through, I was reading about, the water that's a byproduct of olive oil milling, and how nutritiously dense it is in terms of antioxidants and all sorts of interesting things. And I said, what's the goal of When Wellness? The goal of When Wellness is to improve the health of as many people as I possibly can. And that's my purpose on this earth. I'm blessed with good health and a good natural energy within me that is everlasting, and inspiration to do this, to help other people. That's my life's purpose that I define for myself. Okay? And we talk about nutrition, and we talk about, whatever, lifestyle and all sorts of things all the time. But as I was sitting there and I had this thought, I thought, I need to share how I feel when I have this every morning, because it's remarkable. I have, whether it was my product or anybody else's, the fact that it's gotten better and better and better and better over time, how it's affected my brain chemistry is just quite frankly remarkable. I feel so relaxed, but I have energy, and I feel so focused, and I feel this sense of clarity where my eyes just widen, and even if I didn't have as much sleep as I should have had, I notice a significant difference if I have Super U or if I don't in the morning. And that feeling of energy and clarity, but no anxiousness and happiness, the uplifting feeling, that mood that I have every morning is incomparable. And I used to drink coffee every morning, right? And coffee is great for you because it has the polyphenols, the antioxidants, and the caffeine. There's actually beneficial health outcomes with people that have more than 4 cups of coffee in a day, if you've seen that When Wellness video. And so coffee's great for you, as long as you don't put a bunch of crap in it and you have it in the morning. But you'll feel it for a couple hours, right? Maybe an hour, maybe a few hours. And then you have some more, and then you have some more, and you have some more. And so this has caffeine in it, but it's dicaffeine malate. So malic acid bound to caffeine, and the malic acid buffers the salts in the caffeine, and it slows the release of it throughout the day. So this is in part to explain for that lasting energy, that feeling of lasting energy that is very smooth, with no sort of racing or anxiousness or jitteriness that you get from Super U. And it's not just from the caffeine, it's from a lot of things in it. And we've done videos on all the benefits of Super U, and I'll talk about them quick, here in a second. But the point of this is, I want to share this with you guys. So if you comment on this video, if you leave a comment after I post it, and you say, I want to try Super U, and you're somebody that hasn't tried Super U, I will send you some. I will send you some complimentary Super U so that you can start having this, not instead of coffee, because coffee's not bad for you, right? I mean, we say this is the better way to start your day, because it is, baby. It's a great way to start the day. But to replace other things that people might have in the morning for energy, or before a workout, before going to work, or before giving a presentation, anything you want to do, you would love to have some energy and focus, but not feel crazy and cracked out. And you would love for it to be healthy for you, at least, I would hope, and I would think most people. But a lot of us out there are just in it for the feeling because we have to get done what we have to get done that day. And so you'll reach for a Monster. You'll reach for a Celsius. You'll reach for a ghost, right? And they have some good ingredients in them. They do. They just have a lot of bad ones too, right? And you don't see sucralose in the supplement facts. You see it in the ingredients, right? And a lot of us don't even read those, and that's an issue with food in general. But that sucralose is in literally every product, guys. I mean, it's insane. And it kills up to half of the beneficial bacteria in your gut. And you remember when I did the video last week and I was laying on the couch, I never get sick. I mean, I almost never, right? A very strong immune system. And the one day after my eye became infected from some particles, I think it was from dumping out the vacuum, and the dust, when it was really windy that one day, it must have went in my eye. It was dumping it outside. After that, I had to take the antibiotics because I had an infection. And I'll tell you, I felt totally different the next few days. That killed my gut bacteria. And then right after I stopped those antibiotics, that's when I got sick, right? That your gut bacteria are so important. So important. And it's not just about having fermented food and about having healthy fats to support your gut lining and a diverse gut microbiome and fiber to feed your bacteria, but it's about not destroying it. And so many things that we do in today's world, we destroy it, right? We're not catering to the health of our gut. I mean, it's an epidemic. Gut health is worse than it's ever been, right? Especially in the United States with all the processed crap and this and that. But the point is, that's something you didn't even consider. Maybe you woke up and you said, I just need energy. And I don't blame you for that. You have to get done what you have to get done. And that's it. And you're like, look, it ain't going to kill me. Even if they say this is bad, it's all right. There's a little bit in here. People have these things all the time. They have them every day. And especially when it comes to something like a pre-workout, which SuperU could be used as. You'll have great workouts. But it could also be used to just have a great day. To clean the house. To go on a hike. To do anything. To go to work, right? Most people that buy this, they go to work. They drink it every morning. Once you start having it, you don't want to stop having it. And the thing is, well, is it addictive? And well, the feeling you get is in the healthiest and the best way addictive, because you feel like super you. You really do, and that's why it has its name. I mean, you getting the focus and the mental clarity from things like alpha GPC that increase levels of acetylcholine. The learning neurotransmitter facilitates learning and memory and focus and attention. Also motivation and mood and muscle contraction. And you're getting energy from the creatine, but it's smooth energy. It's hydrating your cells. It's an osmolyte. It naturally promotes muscle growth, the division of satellite cells, stem cells that are local to skeletal muscle. And it's just, we could just keep talking and talking and talking and talking about all these great things that it does. But I want to replace all those things for you. And I did a video on replace all that stuff with SuperU. But even if you don't have that stuff, know that when you have this, it's contributing to the health of your neuron cell membranes. So it's not just giving you fuel to think at the moment, but it's actually affecting the health of your brain cells, which is incredible, right? Because it's something that you take over time and you'll feel it more and more and more. And it's not like you just build a tolerance to cheap energy. There's no sort of cheap energy in it. This formula is extremely expensive for me to make. I don't make that much money on this when I sell it. And if I give somebody a discount, I make almost nothing. So, I'll lose a lot of money on this. But if I could share this feeling, it will make you have better days. It might get you up and get you to go to the gym in the morning. It might be something that you can have while you're outside grounding in the morning. Well, like I do. It might be something you can sip on the way to work and then turn the music up and be feeling all happy and ready and excited to take on the day. That's actually going to benefit your health more and more over time. It's going to lower your liver enzymes, AST, ALT. These are things that are associated with poor liver health when they get higher. Like citrulline malate does that, for example, right? It increases levels of hormone-sensitive lipase. There's 7 things in this that boost your metabolism and help you to gain more lean body mass. you know, for people that are looking for a way to just be cooking all day, to have their body cooking without you sweating and without you, you know, racing and all these things. I mean, it's the best thing that I could have ever imagined having in the morning. And it took me 4 years to make this. I was sampling this. I was in my kitchen every day. I was weighing out different powders that I would buy online. I would do dense research and look at clinical trials and look at dosages they use in humans that are effective, look at things that are top proven for their category, things that are, you know, secondary options, but they don't have as much proof, but I felt them a lot. I would keep track of how much food I ate, how much water I drank, how much I slept. I would take one ingredient for a week. I'd take another ingredient. I'd weigh everything out to micrograms or milligrams. And eventually I just found the things that worked the best for me. And so I started, and by the research, and I started to give them to other people, and things that just don't work, that are supposed to work, you know, that I just didn't feel. And other people that I gave it to, they felt almost nothing too. And then they said they started to feel good. And I said, let's make this a product, because I can't buy something online that is like this, that is actually healthy. I just can't. I can buy plenty. There's 100 bajillion things out there that will give you energy, that claim to give you focus. And guess what? When you try to buy something that gives you the focus and mental clarity, like I've gone online and when I was studying for my Part 4 boards before I had SuperU, I took Qualia Mind, Mind Lab Pro. These things are like $150 a month, which is just ridiculous, right? For what you feel too. I mean, they write all this stuff on you know, how this is going to make you feel this, it's going to make you feel that. And then they put, you know, lower dosages in there. They're not clinical dosages. They'll use a clinical dosage for like one or two things, but because I know that when you use the clinical dosages, it's more expensive. And I know when you use better forms of ingredients, it's more expensive. And I know that when I had to flavor it with stevia and use a separate manufacturer than NutriCap Labs just to do the flavoring because they wanted to put sucralose in it, it's more expensive. But I would rather make less money and give you guys something that's going to be genuinely good for your body and make you feel a tangible effect without feeling crazy, right? Something that you can do anything you want to do with. And you know, I'm so grateful for it. So for those of you who are in this, you know, got here late, you can, what's up, Dave, Beast from the East. If you comment on this video, I will send you SuperU for free to try. I'll send it for free. And to be honest with you, I don't have that many left. We're about sold out, and I'm about to make another run. It's in 10 stores now. It's growing. I just dropped a case off of Cornucopia Nutrition in Sayville yesterday, and I dropped another case off at Innovative Nutrition. They're flying through this stuff, and there's a reason. You know, people have it, and they want more of it because they haven't had something that gives them that sense of mental clarity and smooth energy and focus that lasts them the entire day without any sort of crash, and that's actually healthy for their body, right? And that's really the gist of what SuperU does, along with supporting health. So if you leave a comment in this video, I'll send you some for free. And this video is about me sharing this with you because it's been a huge impact on my life since I've had it made and developed this formula, like I said, over the 4 years. I mean, I've never felt better in my life. And I do a lot of things to be healthy, right? So it's not like if you're really unhealthy, SuperU is going to make you healthy. You know, I mean, that's not true for any sort of supplement. And disregard SuperU if you're not healthy in the sense of changing your lifestyle and your nutrition, right? Because I always say before any supplements, don't even think about SuperU or any other supplements if that's the situation that you find yourself in, where you're just not healthy and you need a better routine and you need a better diet. I don't like the word diet, it's a lifestyle. Start cooking whole food from nature and start exercising and getting more sleep and all these things, right? It'll make a tremendous difference. But if you're on that journey towards better health and you want something that's going to help you to get there and help to motivate you and put you in a good mind state every day, this is it, SuperU. And I'm going to take a sip because I've been talking about this. Ah, nice. It tastes good too, to be honest. And you don't need any shit to make it taste good. All the flavors are, you know, similar color because I didn't put any dyes in there. You know, I don't care what the color is. I don't think most people do, right? I don't need it to have some catchy, like pinkish, you know, whatever. Just the natural color from the natural flavors in stevia. So let's do a quick run through of, you know, what's in Super U. I'm going to fly through this because, you know, it's already been a long video. What's in Super U? Why is it good for you? You know, what is making you feel what? And here you go. Buckle up, baby. It's like my favorite thing to do. Citrulline malate's an amino acid that you find, well, citrulline itself is an amino acid, and then malic acid is a keto acid that you find in the energy cycle or the mitochondria, energy producing pathway in all of our cells. And whether you break down sugar, you break down fat, they go eventually through that Krebs cycle or citric acid cycle, and it's converted to ATP, right? These things are converted to adenosine triphosphate, and all these names don't really matter, right? But ATP, just think of energy, right? It gives you energy when you break those things down. So malic acid is in that cycle. And when you combine these types of things with anything, like you'll see arginine alpha-ketoglutarate out there. We have dicaffeine malate in here. We have citrulline malate. So I'll just explain the malate right now. When you combine it, it obviously will give you energy. It perpetuates energy production on its own, does malate, aka malic acid. It also improves the bioavailability or the absorption, how much your body can uptake and reach a systemic circulation and utilize when it's combined with these things, right? And so, you know, there are a few good benefits to combining other ingredients with malic acid. So what is citrulline? And that's a really important part here. It's an amino acid you find in high amounts in watermelon, right? The word citrulus means watermelon in Latin. Your body can also make it, and it's in two major pathways, the urea cycle and the nitric oxide pathway. So the urea cycle promotes the conversion of ammonia, toxic waste, into urea, right? Which it's excreted then from the body. This is important for liver health. Everybody knows liver health if ammonia builds up, but even more so for your central nervous system health. And the goal of Super U was to improve the health of the central nervous system or the brain and spinal cord, improve the health of brain cells, right? Not to just make them function well for the day or the week, but to make them healthier over time, right? And so reducing ammonia is one way that we can do that. Now, in terms of the nitric oxide pathway, that goes citrulline converted to arginine converted to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gaseous amino acid that's relatively unstable, but its job is to open up your blood vessels and improve blood flow, right? And so it improves blood flow to your brain. It improves blood flow to your entire body. And so this delivers more oxygen and nutrition to your brain. Shut up! Delivers more oxygen and nutrition to your brain and your body, and improves performance, of course. On top of that, it works with BDNF to increase neuronal differentiation. So what the hell does that mean? It works with your brain fertilizer, brain production thing, right? The BDNF, to increase neuronal differentiation. So to increase the production and division of brain cells and production of more brain cells, right? And so that's, of course, a great thing. There are 5 things in Super U that increase brain cell production. So again, over time, it benefits you more and more and more. And you find things like your memory improving, your ability to just generally focus and to stay on one task, your ability to do anything, really. It's insane. So, you know, and obviously you want to be healthy on top of that. Again, Super U is not an end-all be-all, but, you know, so it does that. It also increases levels of hormone-sensitive lipase. So hormone, you get sensitive, right? Lipase, fat. ACE is an enzyme that breaks that thing down. So it increases levels of something that breaks down fat. And that's, of course, a great thing. So how much citrulline malate should you take? They say 8 to 10 grams improves exercise performance, but up to 15 grams confers additional benefit. So there's 8 grams in Super U, and I have something that improves the absorption of it by 45%. And that's astragalus combined with panax-notoginseng in a patented compound by New Live Science called astrogen. Not estrogen, astrogen. And this is something that reduces inflammation in your gut wall and improves the absorption of everything else in this formula, because everything in here works in synergy. Everything works together and improves the effects of one another. It's not just some random all-star team put together without chemistry. There is phenomenal chemistry in this. So if you took all these things alone, it's the sum of the parts. It's, greater when they're all combined, right? And so, citrulline works well with that, improves the absorption by 45%, does the estrogen. It's like an effect of 11.6 grams. Without having to put copious amounts of powder into a scoop, you're getting that effect. And so the way this feels is it kind of opens your eyes, you have energy, and you just feel really good, right? It also increases levels of catecholamines, so dopamine, norepinephrine, epinephrine. Epinephrine promotes fat burning, but dopamine as well. Dopamine gives you that pleasure, that motivation, that reward. And so it's really a fantastic ingredient. And here's an example of synergy, even aside from the estrogen, working with the citrulline malate. Antioxidants. Remember we said that nitric oxide, it opens your blood vessels and improves blood flow, is relatively unstable, gaseous amino acid. So wouldn't it be great if we could put something in this formula with it, something that boosts nitric oxide, that protects the nitric oxide and helps it work better and last for longer? Well, that's the vitamin C, that's the selenium, right? Vitamin C is not just in here for immune function and collagen production, right? The selenium in DNA formation and forming selenoproteins, which benefit your health in all sorts of ways, but they protect the nitric oxide. So this synergy makes you feel it a lot more than if you were to just have citrulline malate alone, which is a great ingredient in isolation as well. But citrulline malate, that's the first one. We said we're going to run through them quick, I get so excited. That's one ingredient. You guys are like, one is I'm going to be here for 9,000 hours. So I'll keep going. If if there's any questions and you want me to cut to the chase on anything, tell me. But the point of this is I want to share SuperU with you guys. If you're late to this, leave a comment in this video after I post it and tell me you want to try SuperU, and I'll send you some for free to try, because I think it's going to change your life, to be honest with you. So next up, let's see, what do we want to talk about? Alpha GPC, let's talk about that. Alpha GPC is alpha glycerol phosphorylcholine. So glycerol, phosphate, and choline. Glycerol is the backbone of triglycerides, as you guys know, and then there's ester bonds and free fatty acids, probably how you know glycerol. It's also an alcohol. So it's a component of neuron cell membranes, as is phosphate, the phosphorylcholine, remember. So glycerol and phosphate are components of your brain cell membrane. They maintain the health of the brain cell, right, and promote better functioning of the brain cell. A brain cell membrane, by the way, is made of 1 or 2 fatty acids, 2 alcohols, and a phosphate group. So again, we have 2 of the 3 components here. The fatty acids, this is a water-soluble formula, so they weren't a fit here, but eat fatty fish and you get those, right? Take omega-3s, whatever. So on top of that, we have choline, which is the most important portion of alpha-glycerol phosphorylcholine, alpha GPC. Choline becomes acetylcholine in the body. That's the learning neurotransmitter, they call it. It facilitates learning and memory and focus and attention, and even improves mood and motivation. And it's really remarkable how much you feel acetylcholine boosters, right? You take alpha GPC in isolation, and you will feel some wide-eyed, focused, happy feeling. Right now, this is something that also increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, nerve growth factor, and promotes the production of new neurons. Right, so it exerts a protective effect on your cells too. Not to mention, it boosts growth hormone. So acetylcholine isn't just used for thinking, it's used for physical action as well. Used pretty much ubiquitously throughout the body, right? And so if we can have more acetylcholine up to 600 milligrams, and this is why we have 700 milligrams in SuperU. That was the most effective dose through all the trials we did for 4 years. And I've had 1 gram, I had 400, I had 300. They give somebody 300 to improve cognition that's healthy. They'll give someone 600 to improve cognition and boost growth hormone at the same time. And then 1,200 milligrams a day for Alzheimer's patients. So 700 was a great amount for me and how I felt. And you're getting that growth hormone boost. And growth hormone is boosting your metabolism, right? So this is helping you to burn more fat. By boosting growth hormone, you're also supporting fat burning. So, another way that it improves metabolism, supports brain cell production. It's really a fantastic ingredient, and boosting your mood as well, and boosting catecholamines and things like serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine. So, a lot of mood boosting in this too. So, wow, I'm so happy every morning when we're talking. And because I take good care of myself, it helps me. It makes me feel good, right? So that's a lot of the gist of alpha GPC. We'll try to keep it short. So wouldn't it be great if you had something that works with alpha GPC? Because it's producing acetylcholine to help to sustain the release of the acetylcholine throughout the day. And that's the Firmos that's in this formula, Huperzia serrata. Okay, and Huperzia serrata, also called huperzine or huperzine A, I think that's how it is on the label, huperzine A, is an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. So all that means in fancy English is it blocks the thing that breaks down acetylcholine, right? So we have alpha GPC producing acetylcholine that gives you that focus, attention, learning, memory improvements, and mood. And then we have this thing that's preventing it from being broken down. So that's sustaining the release of it for a longer period of time, and it helps you to feel focused and just feel good, throughout the day. On top of that, huperzine A has a protective effect on your brain. Another thing that has a protective effect on your brain. And it reduces the buildup of beta amyloid plaques in your brain and damage dysfunction of beta amyloid plaques that they can do on your brain. And we know that these beta amyloid plaques build up in what? Neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. And so if we can obviously slow that process down or help to prevent it, that would be really fantastic. This isn't intended to treat, diagnose, cure, prevent any disease. These are just facts on what these ingredients do that are in Super U, and you take it how you will, right? So huperzine A also boosts both nerve growth factor and BDNF, right? And so it's more of that brain cell production. Beta-alanine is an amino acid you find in high amounts in meat and fish. Everything in this formula comes from nature, or your body can produce it. But nothing is dosed high enough that your body will stop producing it, which is a really important thing for me. I did a ton of research on that because I would never want to give somebody something they have to rely on for the rest of their life. You're just going to keep having it likely because you like it. It's not something that causes addiction in some bad way, or that you feel like you can't go without, right? You're just going to not want to go without it, probably. That's at least how I feel. I take it every single morning. Huperzine A and acetylcholine is a synergy. We talked about citrulline malate and estrogen, and also the antioxidants being a synergy. And when we talk about beta-alanine, this amino acid is something that combines with another amino acid, histidine, to form carnosine. And carnosine is a powerful anti-aging, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory compound. So now we're getting the benefit here of reducing inflammation, which we also got with estrogen. And inflammation is associated with about every chronic disease. So that was an important thing for me as well in formulating this, was let's take down some inflammation too, right? And by the way, there's a million things out there that are good for you, but you can't just put them all in one formula. So I just chose the heavy hitters, right? Things that'll really make a difference. So reducing inflammation, being an antioxidant, also protecting your cells, protecting that, this is why I just mentioned the synergies again, that effect of the citrulline malate that's boosting the nitric oxide, right? Because nitric oxide is an unstable amino acid. And so this is helping to protect it and improving its function and acting in strong synergy. It also acts in strong synergy with the creatine in the formula, right? And so we'll talk about creatine here in a second, but beta-alanine is also a chelator. So at least when it combines with histidine, it forms carnosine. And so carnosine is a chelator, meaning it binds to heavy metals and helps to expel them from the body. Things like arsenic and mercury and lead, right? The aluminum, these can build up in our bodies and have negative effects on health. And we did a video on them the other day here at When Wellness, if you want to check that out, all the harmful effects of metals and what you can do. But this is another thing that's going to help bind to them and get rid of them, right? And so that's a really good thing, because I don't know what else you guys are having in your diet, but to have something that'll help us eliminate not only toxic waste in the form of ammonia, like citrulline, but also some heavy metals, sounds like a great thing to me. Now, that's not even its hallmark trait. Its hallmark trait, the beta-alanine, is that it reduces acidity in your muscles. So it reduces acidity in your muscles, and there's a deer right there, and helps to improve your endurance during exercise, right? And this could be during short, intense exercise or during endurance training. Now, this is the thing that gives you those tingles. You get some tingles in your arms or face, completely harmless. side effect. So they don't even know exactly why that happens. And as you continue to have Super U, you don't seem to, get them. And some people don't have them off the bat. And if you do, just know that all it means is that you can feel it kicking in. It's not doing anything harmful. But the dosage they use in a lot of trials was 2 grams of beta-alanine for improving endurance by 12% in 6 weeks when they took that every day. Now, I didn't want people's faces to be tingling off, but I wanted to meet that 2-gram dosage, so I put 1.6 grams in Super U because the astragalus and ginseng improves the absorption of it by 25%, so it lands it at that clinical dosage of 2 grams, right? Everything in here clinically dosed, all right? Now, it also boosts BDNF, does the beta-alanine, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and also improves mood by boosting serotonin, dopamine, things of this nature. So a lot of mood boosting here, responsible for making you feel this just lightness and happiness and energy and clarity when you have Super U, that I feel every day and that a lot of people report. You can look at the reviews if you want. And again, I'm not even selling this to you on this video. I'm giving it to you for free if you comment below. I hope I don't run out of Super U after this because, we're running low. It's a lot of it. But it boosts BDNF as well, does the beta-alanine. So that's the brain fertilizer, brain cell production stuff, right? And that's really great. So creatine, everybody knows creatine is like a good supplement now, right? I mean, we used to think creatine is not good for our kidneys and all this kind of stuff. But now we know creatine is the king of all supplements when it comes to boosting power output and exercise performance. So people take it for exercise, right? But then they started showing its effectiveness for depression and reducing anxiety and boosting mood. And it's amazing because it gives you more energy to physically act, but it also gives you more energy to think. And it's in a different pathway than the one that you break down sugar or fat in to get energy. I'm trying to say this in simple words. We call that the phosphagen pathway. Name doesn't matter, but it makes you make more ATP, independent of those, right? And so that's obviously a great thing. That means ATP, remember, is energy, like we said, and it means you have more energy to think and more energy to act. So that's a good thing in terms of mental and physical performance, because it goes through into the bloodstream in your brain as well, as all these ingredients do. They all get into the bloodstream in the brain and to the body. That's why it improves mental and physical performance. So on top of that, it's an osmolyte, and it hydrates your cells. So that's the influx of water into cells will improve cellular performance. Okay, that makes total sense. That's why you need to drink a little bit more water throughout the day. If you have Super U, you don't need copious amounts of water, and nothing crazy. Just maybe have an extra couple glasses. You should be doing that anyway, and it makes you feel good. But there's the creatine is super safe and good for you. You find it, by the way, in meat and fish. Creatine, it's an amino acid. That's what it is. And your body also makes it. It's majorly produced in your liver, and then it's stored in your skeletal muscle, right? But it's also, subsisting in your brain, testes, liver, kidneys, throughout the body. Now, aside from those two things, it increases muscle growth naturally, creatine, and to a relatively substantial degree. It increases numbers of satellite cells, and these are stem cells that are specific to skeletal muscle, right? So your biceps and your quads and your abs and whatever. And these stem cells, they divide and they become more mature muscle cells, in simple. And so it makes you produce more muscle cells, which who doesn't want that, right? You're not going to become the Hulk if you're a girl and you're worried about, am I going to get... First off, that's the last thing you typically have to worry about, unless you're taking steroids or something like that, It's harder for people to put on muscle mass and maintain it than really anything, right? But it makes you lean. So it also works to increase levels of hormone-sensitive lipase, right? And that's that same thing that's promoting the fat burning that we saw citrulline malate increasing. So another thing that improves body composition, giving you more lean mass. It increases IGF-1, and all that really means is, insulin like growth factor 1. It's a growth factor, and it's associated with growth hormone release. And so when you improve your levels of growth hormone, increase your levels of growth hormone, that boosts your metabolism as well and support growth. So it's, for a wide array of reasons, a great supplement. It blocks something called myostatin, which is really interesting. Myostatin blocks muscle cells from dividing. So if you block that, it helps them to continue to divide, which is relatively rare in nature to find something that naturally does that. When I was taking biology at Stony Brook, and they were showing us these experiments of mice where they would inhibit myostatin in their whole body, like to a really significant degree, which creatine only does this in your skeletal muscle, right? Because you wouldn't want this to happen in your heart and your heart get huge or anything like that, which it doesn't do, thank God. They became Hulk mice. So really interesting. And people have been trying to hack blocking myostatin now for years and years and years. And to do it artificially hasn't been effective in a lot of these studies. And creatine actually naturally does it to some degree, and that's pretty incredible, I think. So creatine and beta-alanine, they work in synergy, right? Now the absorption of the creatine is improved by 33% by the astragalus and ginseng in the formula. And that improvement of 33% brings the 3-gram dosage, because the daily maintenance dose is 3 to 5 grams, to 4 grams. And that's right in that sweet spot. Now our next formula, I think I'm going to put 5 grams, but I put 3 grams in the last one and this one, because it's less likely to cause bloating. So if somebody wanted to go to the beach, or somebody had like a job interview or anything like that, not that I really get bloating with creatine, and that's why I'm going to put the 5 grams, because other people I know too, you see stuff of water retention online, but it's so negligible. I mean, you really don't, there's no bloating really that I've ever noticed, but definitely not with the 3 grams that I put in. I was really safe to do that. And the other thing is it's giving you energy, but there's a lot of other things in the formula that are giving you energy, right? So you don't need too much of any particular thing. Just get to the low end of the clinical dosage range, and the rest should take care of itself, right? If everything works together to enhance their effects, right? And so, let's see, L-theanine. L-theanine is an amino acid you find in high amounts in green tea. Now, other than that, you find it almost nowhere in nature, and your body doesn't make it. This is the rarest amino acid by far in Super U, okay? And L-theanine is something that gives you wakeful relaxation. And so it makes for a great synergy with caffeine, and there's already a smooth form of caffeine in this dicaffeine malate, which the malic acid buffers the salts in the caffeine and slows its release throughout the day. Sustained release caffeine, it's very smooth, no racing or jitters. But the L-theanine is something that is, if there was any edge left of anything or overwhelming energy, it's going to smooth it out for you, right? And it gives you this wakeful relaxation, not by sedating you, but by boosting things that make you happy and feel relaxed, like serotonin and dopamine. And serotonin's our happy hormone / neurotransmitter. Dopamine, you feel pleasure and motivation and reward. And so this is yet another thing that's improving your mood in this formula. It also boosts brain-derived neurotrophic factor. So it's nuts, brain cell production. And, it's something that I definitely felt the effects of when I was doing the testing. And if I took it alone, I was like really relaxed, And when I tested different samples of Super U, by 25 milligrams, I kept changing the dosage to do controlled experiments, because 25 milligrams of this stuff made a huge difference in how much energy or less. And so 100 milligrams gave the perfect balance here. In terms of a ratio, caffeine and theanine, they typically recommend 2-to-1 theanine to caffeine. But for me, that was just like way too mellow. All right. And if I wanted to take this and go, for a run, or I wanted to take this and, go walk around the park all day, or go to work and, have energy to do things, I thought the better ratio was, closer to 3-to-1 caffeine to theanine, but really, really nice. And so it promotes fat burning as well. Theanine is just a great ingredient and a great thing to combine with caffeine. So we have, let's see if we didn't explain anything. And we're giving you this relatively short synopsis. I wrote papers on all of these, and you can dive really, really deep if you want to. You could check them out on the website. If you tap on the ingredient label, the paper will come up. Everything highlights, and then you can hit learn more. It gives you summary of benefits, and then you can read the whole paper that I wrote on every ingredient if you want. Not with AI, just with these hands, They don't type that fast. It took me a while. But aside from that, we have a full vitamin and mineral complex, and that's important in terms of synergy with all the B vitamins, which you typically don't need to get from a supplement, but they're cofactors in energy metabolism. They're not just involved in red blood cell production and DNA formation and all these things, but they are cofactors or coenzymes, and I'll tell you what that means, in energy metabolism. So that basically means when you break down something for energy, like sugar or fat or utilizing creatine or whatever it is, they require extra little biological tools, right, to help those reactions occur and to improve their efficiency and to make it happen right. And so I put these in there to help everything that's giving you energy in terms of, it needing these extra components to work properly. And so that's the major reason that the B vitamins are in there. Not crazy amounts, just RDAs for the most part I hit. So recommended daily allowance, the amount that you should be having in a day. And this way, maybe people don't have to worry as much about getting their B vitamins if they missed a few, then that's all right. We said vitamin C, we said selenium, and Actogen is the last one, or Senactive is the last one I didn't talk about, and that's a patented compound by New Leaf Science, the same company that makes the astragalus in ginseng, that gives you some energy, right? It increases levels of something called citrate synthase, and all that means is it's synthase, it synthesizes citrate. The hell's citrate? Well, it's one of those intermediates in the energy cycle. It's something that's in that energy cycle in the energy powerhouses of our cells, our mitochondria, right? Just like the malic acid, the malate that's bound to the citrulline or the caffeine in our formula. And so it gives you some energy, and that's a good thing. But its major benefit is the fact that it's a senolytic. And what that means is senescence is aging, right? And lytic is it's breaking it down. So it breaks down cells that have aged and replaces them with new, more functional cells, which is fantastic. So it's got anti-aging benefits in that sense. Does super you with the Senactive in there. And that's how it got its name, Senactive, because it's a senolytic, right? So it's also called Actogens, what it used to be called. Now the ginseng is in both the Actogen and the estrogen, or the Senactive and the estrogen. And so this is something that is a very commonly taken supplement, ginseng. It's been taken for a long time for reducing pain and inflammation, giving you some vigor, and all it's well and good. But in terms of human clinical trials, did you actually know that it's the top option, one of the top options for memory and focus? And it's also one of the top options for libido and sexual function. So this improves blood flow, guys. You'd be happy about that. But also libido, So this is, hitting a lot of facets of health. And ginseng reduces inflammation and increases BDNF, more of that brain cell production as well, and boosts metabolism and supports, more lean mass, a better body, and burning fat. So I try to keep that relatively simple. And, we could sit here and talk about this for a million years, but the message today is that I want everybody to try this. I need to share this with the world because this can really improve your days. It has improved mine. It's given me some mental clarity and focus and just such a happy feeling every time that I've had it. And I wouldn't be happier, than to send you guys some for free so that you could try. And I'll probably take a major hit because, we'll get a bunch of comments on this. If you comment on the video, if you're late to the video, I will send you Super You for free. So you comment and then I'll message you and we'll get your address, where to send it, wherever, or P.O. box, and I'll ship it out there. And you can try it, and if you like it, you can get it the second time. And I'll probably post some discount or something like that. But that's what we got for you guys. So now I'm going to go finish mine. My morning Super You, baby. The best way to start the day. Dom Duro, what's up? Kate. Adalberton, Mitch. Danny, KD, One Big Shun. Nighthawk, DJ, A. Del Rey, Erica, Ricardo, Classic Muscle Guys, Vanguard, Modaj, Young, Trust. When we're on for a while, there's a lot of people. Happy Sunday, you guys. Ari Lucrezio, Disanobos, Timothy Alexander, Bull City King, Tough Spa. That's the day. Beast from the East. What's up, baby? How you guys doing? I love it. Yeah, Dave, I'm glad you love it. I know, man. It's the best. It's the best. Budozer, MC Dweeb, Enicotor, Strew, Hand Swerver, Tommy Reed, Cage, Meg, what's up, baby? How you doing? Happy Sunday. David M. Pa, C9, what's going on? Muaro Mahalinos Cesaros, and Sabia. Sabia likes Super You too. Been taking it, right? As for now. So we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an amazing rest of your Sunday. Thanks so much. Happy Wend Wellness. If you're late here, if you comment below, I'll send you some Super U for free. If you comment on this video after I post it, if you haven't tried it yet. If you have, we'll talk about a discount or something, but have a great one. Yaz, what's up, girl? See you later.